Hello and welcome to this CARVECO Maker tutorial. I'm Roger Webb and this will be a multiple 3D construction of a large picture in inches. So we're going to jump straight into it and we're going to come over and open up a new model. So at the moment we're set at millimeters, so we're going to change that straight away to inches, and we're going to have the resolution all the way up to maximum, and so we're going to change this to X. We're going to have 36 inches, and in the Y we're going to have 24, so 3 foot by 2 foot. And for this application we're going to put the orientation of the program, or the start of the program, in the middle of the work. So everything's set up for us and we press OK. And here is the opening screen of CARVECO Maker. Now this is the base program of the CARVECO products. There is CARVECO Maker, CARVECO Maker Plus, and CARVECO, the main industrial program. Now just a reminder to everybody that below this video, in the video description area, you will find a pretty hefty CARVECO discount code. If you go along to the provided website, and the code will apply right across the board, whatever you decide to do, monthly, buy it outright, and go and have a look. So what we're going to do with CARVECO Maker today is build up a large, not exactly complex, but it may seem that way, 3D picture. So we're going to jump straight in and go straight to the 3D relief library. So we can left click on that and we'll zoom out a little so we have a full picture of our piece of material. And at the moment I have reliefs selected, so it will actually list the full relief library in CARVECO Maker. So we'll just scroll down through just to give you some idea of the type of reliefs that are in here, at least until we get to where we need to go to. As you can see, there are many different reliefs. This is where we're heading. For this particular job I'm going to go for a frame, so I'm going to drop it straight into the middle there. I'm going to give it some dimensions. So I'm going to say a width of 36. Oh, let's take the lock off. If you notice there what I did when I changed the one, everything changed. So we're just going to take the lock off. So I can change the height now to 24. And we're going to have 2 inches. If I can select it. 2.0 inches, and it's already set in the, first of all let's apply that so it gives us a visual of, okay, well CARVECO's actually automatically placed it in the center of our work, and that's one of the reasons I made the 0, 0, because this is quite a complex 3D picture to put together, and I find it personally easier with the 0, 0 in the center for building up the picture and also machining it. So we're going to press merge high. So you can actually, if you left click on these, you can scroll through the different settings. I think they're fairly self-explanatory. So we're going to paste this down. And it goes gold. to show that, well, CARVECO Maker has now put it in situ. Now, to move this around to have a look, just place your mouse over the piece of work, press the scroll wheel down, hold it down, and you can actually see your 3D model. Now, to get it back facing you, just come up here, view top, press that with the left key, and you're back. So now we're going to begin to put some other 3D models into this picture now. Now, I always find it easier to start with what you want in the background first. So we're going to find, there's grass if you need grass. But what I want is, well, we're going to put some mountains in the background first. I'm going to show you a little trick with these as well. So you just drag and drop it in. Now, you notice the peak of the mountain here is actually starting to come out over the top of the first relief that we put in. Well, I actually make that a feature, and it works very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place it there. So I'm going to come to some sort of decision of, well, where my horizon starts and finishes. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this deeper and slightly longer as well. So, but I don't want the lock put on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this manually. So I'm going to stretch this out a bit, like that. Bring it down just a touch. But I want this feature to come over and bleed over the side and blend over top of the edge of the frame. So I'm going to raise this up to, well, we'll try 1/2 inch first. So we'll go 0.5 of an inch. And well, we're going to apply that and have a look. Yep, you can see now on this edge how it is coming out over. I think that's probably enough. You know, we could probably go a little tiny bit. No, that's enough. We're going to, you know, there becomes a limit where it does start to become too much. So we're going to call that good. I'm fairly happy with that, and we're going to merge high. So now you can plainly see how it blends over the side, and I think it, you know, it makes the end product really stand out. So another group of mountains here I'm going to put on this side, but I'm going to set it slightly back. I want to, you can imagine like there's a river coming through here or something like that. There maybe. I'm going to do the same trick here. I'm going to have that peak just coming out, so we're going to raise that up to 1/2 inch as well. 0.5 and apply. I think that's enough. Stretch this out a little bit more that way. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Okay, so we're going to paste that down. So you can see how we're building our picture up now. Now, there are some clouds here somewhere. I've actually forgotten where they are, so scroll on down through. Here they are. So we're going to get that group of clouds, and we're going to bring them into here. They're very, very small. So we're going to put the lock on. Click it twice so it groups the whole three together. Width-wise, we're going to go 12 inches. And we're going to apply that probably go quite a bit longer than that because I want a real angry looking sky, as though, well, there's some bad weather on the way. Let's try 15 inches. Apply. And we're going to rotate that slightly. Like that. And I would like to see the clouds starting to roll over the peaks of the mountain here, and actually come over the side of the frame as well. So I'm going to go 0.6 of an inch. Apply that and bring it down slightly. Yep, I think that's pretty good. That'll be fine. And we're going to paste that down. Oh, nice angry looking sky. And, well, because there's only one cloud here, what I'm going to do is bring this one in again and make this one much larger. We're going to probably go 20 inches with this. And have a look. Oh yes, that is a nice effect. This I like, coming through like the small valley here, and because this is more realistic, where you have the peaks of mountains, sort of poking up through the clouds, and the clouds sort of being partly slightly lower than the peak of a mountain. I'm going to go straight in with that and say, yeah, that's good. And really, these areas of nothing, it's realistic because that's what you get in the sky. So, okay, so we've done our background for the top half of the picture. So now we're going to put some forest in. This could be North America, Canada, somewhere like that. Or even Wales or Scotland, I suppose. So we're going to get this group of trees here. I'm going to bring them in to here. So they start off small in the background. And we're going to put more in. But we're going to build this picture of a forest up. I'm probably going to leave this. What's that? Just over 1/4 of an inch in depth. I'm going to leave it at that. Dimensions look fairly good on that. Okay, paste it down. So we're going to catch hold of the same group and put them here. So it covers up some of the spaces, but we're going to make this slightly deeper. So we're going to go 0.3, because as you're working forward, overlapping the ones that you've already put there, you need to make them slightly larger. So I'm going to go 0.32. Let's see what that looks like. Yep, I think that'll do us. Okay, paste. And I think we're going to have this different group now. I'm going to have this tree. We want this tree bleeding over to give the same effect down this end of the, or should we say the foreshore. And we need to make them deeper because the mountains behind it, we're actually losing some of the trees here. So I don't actually want to make them any larger in widthways. So I'm going to take the lock off. I'll take them up to 0.5 of an inch. Apply. I think we need to come up a little bit further. Don't come too far though. 0.7. That's better. That's better. Not losing too much of the trees now. Probably could come a little further, actually. So we're going to come 0.8. Apply. I think that's a little better. So we're going to paste that down. So you can see now how we can build a very complex looking three-dimensional picture up just by choosing the reliefs in CARVECO Maker. And this is the base program, don't forget, and just building a beautiful picture up. And we could put individual trees in here if we wanted to, but I don't think it's necessary. So what we will do now is scroll back through. Here we go. Have this little cottage. And we're just going to place it here, I think. And we'll just... I think the size of this is probably pretty good. But I just want to make it a little deeper to make sure it's not going to be, you know, the tree isn't going to come through the roof or anything like that. So I'm going to make this 0.35 of an inch. Actually could come a little bit more. I think we'll come to 0.4 and we're going to place that down. I'm sure that's going to be good. Yes, that looks pretty good there. So I think probably got to put a bit of a ban here as well, which isn't very far away from the main property. So we're going to put it just there, I think. That will be nice. And again, I think we're going to have 0.4 of an inch. Just make sure that works. Yeah, that works. And we're going to apply that. Yeah, that chimney just comes in front of the trees. That's what I was looking for, which is good. And, oh well, we may as well put this cart in as well. Outside the shed. Oh, actually it could be between the property, between the shed and the, I think about that. I'm going to make that 0.2 of an inch. Apply. And paste it down. Yep, that works. That's going to be just fine. Actually, what you saw me do then, I was just using the scroll wheel to scroll in and out, and if you just hover over your piece of work and press the left and right mouse key down together, you can bodily move this around. So in actual fact we're working in this bottom corner now, so we'll zoom in a little and concentrate in here. Now I did see some animals in here somewhere. I do know that there is some, oh, there's a wolf. That could be a German Shepherd. Oh, here we go. Oh, donkey. Let's put a donkey in here. Oh, he's a bit big. So we're gonna, rather than use the numbers here, I can actually manipulate him. A bit closer to us. I think that's my German Shepherd ready for something to eat. They get a little demanding now and again, don't they? Yes. I'm going to make that. Donkey looks a little fat, so I'm going to make him 0.45. I think that's probably going to work a little better. Apply. Yeah. And we'll paste him down. That looks good. Now, I suppose Donkey's going to have some friends. Let's see, Donkey Horse. Yes. Same trick. Horses are a little bigger than donkeys. Let me see. 3.5. Apply. Actually, it's a little bit too bulbous. I'm going to try 0.3. So I'm talking to myself a little while I'm doing this, because this is, well, live-ish. Okay. Paste him down. And horses always like to be in pairs or more. And the reason I know this is because I have 3 as mowers actually. We're on acreage here in Tasmania, and it's a bit of a chore to go out and mow the grass with the tractor every weekend. So you have horses instead. So this time I'm going to put the lock on and come down a bit. Now you see his nose and face is disappeared into the other horse. So what I'm going to try and do is make this 0.5. Apply. Oh, see, I did a bit of a mistake there, and I forgot the lock was on. Not a problem. Make him a bit smaller. .5. That's what I was after. That's the effect I was after of this horse standing in front of that one. Still make him a little smaller. You know, you will sometimes you have to play around with it to be able to, you know, get things right just how you like them. And yeah, that works. That works. So we're going to paste that down. Okay. So now you know, although it's a 3D image, you are convincing then the viewer of the finished piece that, well, you know, this really is 3D. It's real. It's not just a picture, as it were. Now, I think I saw a pig here. Yes, I did. We're going to put a pig in here as well. They're quite friendly, actually, pigs. Not that big, though. So, you know, you've got to try and get the dimensions right as well. Oh, nice for a big, round, fat pig. And pigs actually can be friendly. I don't have one, but I know a few. Okay, so we're going to paste that down. So there's our picture. I mean, you know, when you do your picture, you can put whatever you want into it. You can make it as complex as you want, or as simple as you wish. So we're done with that now, and I think that that is a very nice, presentable picture. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the toolpaths. Now there's several different areas you can get to toolpaths. There's an area here where you can pick a 3D toolpath. You can go here and pick a toolpath from here, 3D, or you can come over here, click on this toolpath, and the toolpaths will come up down here, where you can select a 3D toolpath. So we're going to do the whole relief. We're not going to start with the finishing. We're going to start with a roughing. In fact, I'm probably going to do 2 roughings with this. So the first roughing is going to be done with because this is such a large project, let's have a look here. This is millimeters. We want inches, don't we? Inches. Here we go. Inches. Although it says end mills, it is router cutters as well. So and the cutter we want actually isn't listed in here, because I'm going to start off with an inch cutter. So I'm going to select that one, and I'm going to make a new tool in the tooling list, because my tool doesn't exist in here. So we're going to say copy, and then we're going to select the upper one because it's going to be a larger figure than this. So we're going to go into edit. Although it's a picture of an end mill, this is just a replication, something to sort of indicate what it is. So it's an inch diameter. We're going to say it's 1.0. Step down. Half an inch is probably a little much, so I'm going to say 1/4 of an inch, so that's 2.5. These are just general numbers. With your machine, you'd probably have to alter the setting. At this stage, that's all we need to do. So I'm going to press OK. We have this one selected. This is all okay. So we're going to say select. So now we're going to go in and alter the setup for this tool for our particular machine. Now the particular machine this is going to be set up for is a 3 feet by 3 feet operating table with a 2.2 kilowatt spindle. So we're going to say step over 0.3 of an inch. That's pretty fair. Step down 1/4 of an inch. Well, it'd probably do it, but I'm gonna be a little bit conservative and say I'm going to say 0.15 because I don't want any tear out of the material. And you know, it's you know, you start ripping into this, and depending on what material you're going into, whether it's pine or whether it's oak or whether it's a harder piece of wood, you can get tear out if you go too deep. Feed rate 100 inches per minute. That's probably pretty fair. Plunge rate 30 inches per minute. That's well, that's probably okay as well. This is only a rough-in, but what I have found is if you have high feed rates, of which these are pretty fair, you need to probably take the RPM up just to increase the torque of the spindle quite a bit. We're going to do a normal raster, so it's going to come in and just go back and forth, back and forth. It's a normal standard raster. Both directions, so climb milling and conventional milling. Automatic Z height, that's all okay. Lead-in moves, ramp moves, maximum angle 10 degrees, that'll be fine. Plunge height 2.5 millimeters. Yeah, it's a big piece of work, big lump of wood. I do like to have the tool, you know, raised up quite a way. Let's have a look here. Yeah, home position 2.5 millimeters. That's fine. Define the material, and it is 2.5 inches. That's okay. So I'm just going to abbreviate this as cut 1.0. I'll just calculate. Okay, let's have a look at that. That's quite a lot of cutting going on there, but that will absolutely be fine. Okay, so the next cut we're going to do is a secondary rough-in. Now I could either use a finish-in or rough-in, but I'm going to use a secondary rough-in here. Scroll down to the inch tools again, which is down here. We're going to use a 1/4 inch ball nose tool for this. Is an intermediate cut. It's just going to get rid of some more of the material that the inch cutter has left behind. So set this up. Step over Actually, we can go a little coarser than this, otherwise it's going to take quite a long time. 0.5. Step down. Yeah, we can leave that a quarter of an inch, that's fine. 100 inches a minute again. This time we can, yep, that'll be fine. Quarter inch cutter, we're going to go 20,000 RPM. Everything's okay here. Leading moves, we'll use the same leading moves. And everything else is all okay. So I'm going to say cut 2. So that's 0.25. Okay, I mean you can abbreviate and put anything here. As long as you recognize it, it's okay. And we're going to calculate this. Okay, that's calculated. Starting to look a little bit complicated now, so let's come here and we're going to do our final finishing operation. Scroll to the inches and say ball nose, 1/8 of an inch. Select that one. And now set it to our machine. Now I am going to go with the recommended settings here, bar this one. 24,000 RPM, which is the maximum for my CNC router. Bearing in mind that whether you're using Mach 4, Mach 3 or an SMC5 external controller, you can run this code at, you know, if you wanted to, 200 or 300% of these values apart from the RPM, and that is how you can change on the fly, as it were, of cutting. So I'm going to leave these settings as they are. I'm going to say cut 3. That's all I need to put here, and calculate this. And it's done. So the next thing to do, to make sure that we've got this all correct, is to go to the simulate toolpath. Okay, everything looks pretty good. So what I'm going to actually do is come to here to simulation, and at the moment it's set at the default, which looks something like aluminium or silver or something like that. You know, you have a choice here of a wide variety of choice. Beech is quite a nice one, I think. Horizontal. Try that. I think for this particular example, beech is quite nice. So I'm gonna leave it at that. You know, you can choose whatever you want, and you can see what I mean now when I say it's a very nice effect to have, you know, part of the 3D picture bleeding over into the frame itself, it just adds that extra dimension, and even down here to the steps up into the property. Okay, so the next thing to do is to save our toolpaths. Now, when you have more than one toolpath, you just use these arrows here to move the toolpaths around. So we're going to start by saving this one, and this is a 1 inch, so I'm going to just say cut 1, just for simplicity. Now my particular machine, I've got a choice of machines to machine it on, and all my machines, and every machine I've ever had actually, except this standard tap G-code, and you know, it's widely used. But if you have a particular machine like a Haas or something like that, and here's a Haas here, look, you know, it will accommodate. So there we go, just save. I'm saving to the desktop. Bring that one over, 1/4 inch tool, over, cut 2, save, over, cut 3. Like I say, you can abbreviate this to whatever you wish. That's a big one. That'll take some time. Okay, so there you are. All done. So, I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial today, and if you have, please press like and subscribe, and you could consider becoming a patron to my channel, because it's the patrons behind the channel that keep it alive. And also don't forget that below this video, in the video description area, you will find a fairly hefty CARVECO discount code, which is applicable right across the board, even the professional version of CARVECO. So I'm Roger Webb. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you pop back again and see one of my other videos. So it's bye for now.